Everybody to the Science of Sport Podium chat powered by the LA84 Foundation. My name is Joey De La Rosa, and I have the esteemed honor to facilitate today's interview. I'm really excited for this interview with such an amazing, inspiring woman. She's smart, she's athletic, she's an Olympian. We're certainly in for a treat today to learn more about Ariana Ramsey. But first, we need to thank our sponsors, the LA84 Foundation, for helping make our programming and events come to fruition through their wonderful grant program. LA84 Foundation is a big proponent of play equity and helping bring innovative opportunities to the Los Angeles region and beyond. So we definitely, Ariana, we got to give a shout out to the teachers who have and are participating in our teacher workshops and helping bring math and science to life through sports. Kids, your teachers are going above and beyond to provide exceptional opportunities for you. So make sure to give them a shout out and thank them for the work, the effort, the extra time they put in outside of school hours to learn this programming and bring you guys some really cool, fun stuff to learn of science and sports. So thank you for that. We have a lot of schools joining us for the podium chat. We want to give a shout out to some of those schools: Jefferson Elementary School, Miss Aguilera's class, Miss Torres, Miss Machado, Miss Thigpen. Thank you all for joining and interacting with us. So last but not least, got to give a shout out to the students who are watching. You certainly are the future, and your curiosity to keep learning is so important. And it's inspiring to us. So thank you all for your enthusiasm and open minds. Many of you have submitted questions to ask Ariana. So we're excited to ask them during the interview. So Ariana, you ready?
Yes.
All right. Well, let's kick it off. Tell us a little bit about your background. Where are you from? Where do you live now? What's that look like?
Yeah. So I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And right now I am at Dartmouth College in New Hampshire. So kind of like a 6 hour difference, far, but not too far. So yeah, I've played all types of sports besides rugby. I was a cheerleader. I started off as a cheerleader, competitive cheerleader, where we tumbled and danced. It was like a combination of all types of things. And then I moved on to track. I also tried basketball. I tried wrestling. I just wanted to try all types of sports. Like I just love sports in general. So, and then I just stumbled upon rugby, like in my sophomore year of high school, and I just fell in love, and it was like up from there. So,
Wow, I bet having sort of access and experience with all the sports, has that helped you with rugby? What would you say? What sport sort of helped you most with learning and excelling in rugby?
definitely track and wrestling. Like rugby has those wrestling aspects, like when you're tackling and having the right form. Rugby and wrestling tie together there. Also cheerleading, we have to lift each other up, and that was also an aspect which I didn't know existed in rugby, which was really cool. But yeah, definitely track just the speed in general, being able to have the right form, being quick on your feet, and knowing how to run. That those two tie together.
Wow, that's amazing. And when did you learn about rugby? Remind me, when did that like come into your purview?
Yeah, so that was like the first year, like sophomore year of high school, like the first time they set up a stand at my high school, and my friend and I had no idea what rugby was. But we just signed up anyway because we were like, okay, let's try it. And there's one senior, she was just kept asking us every day to come to practice. And I'm like, okay. So then we finally went. So it was definitely her push. Like she was very excited about rugby, which made us want to be excited too.
That's so cool. We have our first question in from a student, Mary Sol Garcia. She wants to know who or what inspired you to do sports and everything else that you do. Who are some
Hmm.
inspirations for you?
I would say rugby wise, it was definitely the girl who was like cheering us on in the beginning. Like I would not have played rugby without her. But as far as sports, it was my aunt Charisse. She is she was like, she saw something in me. She knew I was going to be a star at something. So she just put me into everything. And I think
Mhm.
cheerleading was like the first sport. She knew I was like excited. She knew I was like cheery and like just out there and very outgoing. So she just was like, okay, let's try cheerleading. And I did that for 6 years, made it to the highest level, and just moved on to the next sport.
Great. That's amazing. And who is your favorite athlete?
um, okay. So I get compared to Aaron Rodgers often, but I think LeBron James, I think he's an all-around athlete, like as far as personality, like just on and off the field. I feel like he's a good person, which is why I like LeBron James. Like he's a great player as well as a great person off the field. And yeah, I'm very inspired by him.
Absolutely. Did you get a chance to watch Space Jam 2?
No, I haven't.
Oh, I'm not going to root it then. It was in my, I mean, love me some Space Jam. So highly recommend watching LeBron diversify his skill sets a little bit,
Yeah.
getting into the theater. Well, tell us a little bit more about schooling. What are you studying right now, and why did you choose to study that subject?
Yeah, so right now I'm an economics major. I love business. I wanted to be an entrepreneur for the longest. So at Dartmouth, it's a liberal arts school, so we don't have like everything's pretty broad. So I chose economics because I felt like it was the closest to learning about the economy, closest to business that I could get here. So that's why I chose it. Yeah, because basically I want to be an entrepreneur. I
Yeah.
feel like it's important to know about money and the economy.
So tell us a little bit more about that. We got some, a lot of elementary school students on the line. What is economics, and why is it important?
So, economics is basically the study of how money works in the world, how financial institutions work together to make money, how they use other people's money to make money. So, yeah, I think I would say it's important because money makes a lot of things happen. Money provides your home, your housing, money buys all the things that you have, all the electronics that we have. So, just understanding how to manage your money is very important. It's very, very important. How to budget and all those types of things. And knowing where to save your money, where to invest your money. Those are all important things that I feel like people should definitely know if they want to be financially stable.
Do you recall when you made your first budget?
Oh, man. I've been obsessed with money since I was like 10 years old. Like I always used to save. I used to sell little things to like my family members. Um, but a budget, I feel like I definitely started freshman year of high school is when I started making a budget. Now I'm like on top of it more. But I took this finance course at Dartmouth they were offering, and they just taught us like how to make a budget in Excel. And I just tried it. I didn't stick to it at first, but now like I'm doing it monthly. So it's like it's getting better.
Got it. That's amazing. Well, so let's. I want to talk a little bit more about rugby and the fact that elephant in the room, you are an Olympian, which is just outstanding. And we have another question here. There's so much to unpack. I want to pose this question from Allison Mendez. How did you react and feel when you made the Olympic roster, when you made that Olympic team? What did that feel like?
Wow. So I did make a reaction video on YouTube to me like deciding once I got the letter. But basically how it went was they told us what day they were going to release the letter. It was kind of like a roster. And if you weren't on the roster, you didn't make it. If you were, you did. So they released it at like 12 o'clock PST. So I was just waiting in my room like for until 12 o'clock. Like my anxiety was going. I was so nervous. I did not think I was going to make the team. I really didn't because just because everyone was older than me, I was the youngest. So I was like, yeah, I don't have as much experience as them. But once I found out, I saw my name number 9 on the roster, and I just felt relieved. I was so happy, surprised, excited. Like it was a mix of all types of feelings, but definitely overjoyed, like very excited and ready to go. Yeah.
That's so. It's kind of giving me chills just thinking about that. I can't wait to check out that video.
Yeah,
That's a special moment to hold on to.
it was amazing.
Tell us, how did that Olympic experience go? Where'd you go, and what are some of the key takeaways from that experience?
It was overall amazing. So we started off. We went to Mimasaka, Japan, not Tokyo, because we traveled 2 weeks before we could actually move on to the campsite. So Mimasaka was like, it was kind of, we were getting pampered for like a week. We were just getting massages every day. There was like hot tubs that we would go to. So we were there training as well. So then we finally took the bullet train to the actual campus in Tokyo, Japan. That was really cool. So once we got on campus, it was just so exciting. We just saw all types of different athletes from different sports. The way it worked was not all athletes were on at the same time. So it was kind of like split up into like you were only allowed to be on the campus for 2 weeks and then you had to go. So it was like different sports coming in and coming out. I got to meet like the NBA players and I got to meet the track team. So I saw a lot of like Kevin Durant, a lot of different basketball players, and then some track stars. I saw Allison Felix. I was so amazed. I was like, oh my God, I'm in the same space as her. So that was just amazing. But yeah, we played. It was definitely the highest level of rugby I've ever played, like the fastest level of rugby I've ever played. I don't think I was like fully prepared, as prepared as my teammates, because they've some of my teammates haven't been to the Olympics before, like 2 of them been before, but they also been playing at the higher level longer than me. So I feel like I definitely could have used more practice, but it was the most high level game I've ever played. I tore my ACL in the second to last game against China. So that's how that ended for me. Very unfortunate. We got 6th place out of 12. And it's not what we were hoping for. We wanted first place, top 3 at least, but it just didn't work out that way. So, yeah, but overall, the experience was just mesmerizing. I think my favorite part was definitely the opening ceremony, the lights, the people, the dancers. It was amazing. Like when you see it on TV, it's beautiful on TV, but in real life, it's even better. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, so much to unpack with that, and I certainly want to get back to. I know you're a big proponent of mindfulness and mindset and routines, and so I want to talk a little bit more in a second about. We'll get back to it about your injury and how that impacted your mindset and the tools you used to overcome that. But you strike me as a lifelong learner and enthused to learn, and certainly going to a new country with a new experience. You're learning so many things, and in Japan, I bet, right? Language, food. Tell us some of the things that you learned. Did you learn any phrases? Did you learn about any new foods? Taste buds go off on fire? Like what? Talk to us more about what you learned.
I learned how to say hi in Japanese. It's like arigato. Never knew that. But other things I learned, I learned that if you have an experience, like I learned to live in the moment. I learned so many things. I learned to live in the moment, like because it happened so quickly. I felt like the Olympics happened, like it went by so fast. So like living in the moment, also like being an athlete, and as far as like branding yourself, I think that was an important time for me to like take full advantage of being at the Olympics. So like making videos, maybe vlogging the experience, and just kind of taking the experience just to the next level by like sharing it with the world. I feel like that would have been, I wish I did more of that. But yeah. And yeah, I think that's mostly. And also like, it was fun, but like we were working still. So it was kind of like a balance. Like you think you're going to go to Olympics and like, I don't know, maybe like party or whatever at the end, but like it was hard work all throughout. So just being able to just balance the two, like being able to balance like the feeling of being at the Olympics, but also like still trying to focus and still trying to get the work done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned you had a video online about your reaction to making the Olympic team. If some of the students want to learn a little bit more about rugby and the rules and how to watch, are there those videos on your channel as well, or where would you kind of guide them to go learn more about the sport?
Yes, definitely YouTube. I have a video on YouTube. It's called "What Is Rugby." It covers the basis of like what rugby is, and then you could follow rugby accounts like Rugby Sevens magazine or just all rugby accounts. It's so cool to just have those on your feed just to see more and learn more about rugby. Like follow USA Rugby, and the other accounts will just start to pour in.
Gotcha. That's so cool.
Hmm.
I want to circle back around to STEM and science, technology, engineering, math, and how that relates to what you're studying. How does STEM show up in economics, especially?
Yeah, well, yeah. So I think technically economics, I don't know if they consider it STEM, but we do a lot of math in my class. Basically, just calculating, obviously calculating numbers, calculating wealth, and all types of things. I think STEM is very prominent in a lot of fields, like whether you want to go into biology and if you want to go be a lawyer, be a doctor, like it's all a part of it. So no matter what field you're in, you're going to need STEM for sure.
Absolutely. Here, like with all sports, but especially there's that movie Moneyball, right? It talks about the analytics guru who helped the Oakland A's, right? Many years ago, but I mean it's very prevalent, right? So and they have economics degrees, right? So that's pretty interesting. That I mean, so much analytics. What analytics are used in rugby, for instance, to make strategy decisions or tactical decisions on how you're playing?
So we wear these GPSs that track like how fast we're going, how many meters we're running in a game. I think those are great analytics that we need to do better and to improve and to see where we are. They use a lot of different gadgets and stuff. They have drones that like watch us. It just calculates different things. But yeah, mainly I think the GPSs are like, and then we have like people have these WAP bands that they use to track their heart rate. So all these different things just help you improve, and just being able to have these numbers is just it's really important.
Yeah, I'm interested. What other examples? Like, what do they use the data for? Is it for training? Is it for making sure you're not overtraining, or like what sort of decisions are you using the data, or is it like do you have sports performance folks helping you
Yes.
out? Or yeah,
Yeah, it's a combination of like all those things. So we have like sports, the people who have the GPSs who know how to read the numbers and make it readable on graphs. So they show us, they'll send us in a list, or like they'll send out a list of people's speeds and times, and then they'll say like you need to get better at this, um, or yeah, or it's over, or it's cut, or whatever. Like
yeah,
yeah, so like same with like Bronco times and things like that. Like that's like a fitness test. Like if you don't hit a certain number, then you're not qualified for the team. So it gets intense. Yeah, they're important numbers to have to in order to improve.
interesting. So yeah, math. It's really embedded in almost everything that we do,
Hmm.
right? I wanna jump to mindset and some of the things that have helped you be successful in your schooling and your
Hmm.
sports. What particular routines do you have that help you be successful, whether it be daily, weekly, monthly? Like what are like must do routines for you that you want to share with the kids?
Definitely, I do weekly meditations. I think that's so important to just sit down, take a second. You don't even have to like cross your legs, and you don't even have to do all of that. You just sit down, take a second, and just be mindful of yourself, be mindful of your body, take deep breaths, and really just feel yourself. Um, I think that is a good reset for whether you're in a stressful situation, whether even if you're not in a stressful situation, if you just want to just reset and relax. It's so important. At least once a week, I feel like it's really important just to clear your mind, just come back down to like a neutral level. Is very important. At least once a week. There was a point where I meditated every morning for 6 minutes for like a month straight, but obviously consistency in school, and then I just it just kind of fell off. So, but then I narrowed it down to once a week. So with that being said, like it's just important at least once a week. You don't even have to like try to commit every day, but at least once a week is really important.
Love it.
Hmm.
Any other parts of your routine?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
use the mindfulness app also. It's
Yeah.
it's called Healthy Minds. It's a great app. Like you can use it, you just put your headphones in and while you're walking, you can just listen to Is This Man Speak, and he just tells you how to be more aware throughout your day, how to be grateful, how to just different like activities for mindfulness. And you have to be sitting, you can do active mindfulness, things like that. It's pretty cool.
Fantastic. We have a question that just came in that's sort of around mindfulness, certainly the foundation of mindfulness. Do you ever use deep breaths to relax and reset? What else do you do to be mindful?
Hmm. What else do I do? Like besides, hmm,
And then, well, the first part of that question was, do you ever use deep breaths to relax and reset?
absolutely. I
Yeah.
have to do that right now throughout this interview because I get anxious sometimes. So I'm like, I don't know if you guys can see me, that I'm like taking deep breaths. But other than that, I think when I get in like high pressure situations, besides like if I'm ever feeling stressed, I use gratitude as a form of mindfulness, thinking about the things that I'm grateful for, thinking about the things that make me happy. And that usually sets me back leveled. It usually does. I'm grateful that I'm here. I'm grateful that I have these things that I have. I'm grateful for the people in my life, and that kind of just eases everything. Yeah.
I love the saying, gratitude impacts your attitude,
It does.
and attitudes are contagious. Is yours worth catching?
Hmm.
It's one of my favorite sort of things to think about. And you're touching on something that's so important. It's like, are you thinking about what you're thinking about? And that's what mindfulness is all about. Our minds want to take us all over the place.
Yes.
There's like that mind behind the mind almost. It's like, let's think about what we're thinking about. And if we don't like what we're thinking about, let's steer it in a healthy,
Hmm.
positive way, right?
Exactly.
Well, that's a pretty cool segue into. I want to talk about your injury because I know injuries have a certain way of can really impact us negatively. We can learn from them, and I mean, it can take you on a weird, interesting journey. Tell us about your journey of your injury, what it's been looking like, and what mindset you're using to overcome and come back stronger.
Yeah, so this is my third injury. I injured both of my shoulders. I got surgery on both of those. This is my ACL, but this seems to definitely be the hardest on my mental state because I've never not been able to run, and that's what I do. Like that's what I'm on the team for because I'm so fast. So the fact that my leg is, I'm missing my knee, that was huge for me. So it definitely took a toll on my mental health. I was more distant from my teammates. Um, and I just wasn't connecting with my team like I usually was. But over time, it definitely got better. Like as I was starting to be able to do more, I was like, okay, wait, you don't have to be so sad. Like you're going to be able to run again. And I was just able to connect, like start to connect with my teammates more as I got like on the field. I tried to be less distant, like try to be around my team, try to go to practices, even if I wasn't practicing. So just being able to, being around my team and connecting with them. But so right now I'm at the 7 month mark. And I'll be playing again in September. So I'll probably have like 4 more months, something like that, um, of recovery. And it has been hard, like watching my teammates play when I can't play with them, watching them lose games, win games without me. It's definitely hard, but I have to continue to realize like you are in a process of recovering. You will be back. And when you do come back, it'll all be worth it. Yeah.
That's powerful, very powerful. Um, I'm curious, right? I mean, it's interesting when we talk about like STEM and how different professionals, how many different STEM professions there are in sports. I'm curious, what sort of STEM professionals have helped you along your recovery route after your injury?
Hmm. I think, would my physical trainer be considered?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she is awesome. Like I can call on her for anything. She knows her stuff. Like it, all I have to do is communicate about how I feel about my body, and she just knows exactly what to do. So I think having those people in the health field, having people in this like in this area, in this industry, knowing what they're talking about is like it's just so helpful and so important for athletes in general. Um, but yeah, yeah,
I would say too, yeah. So physical therapists, doctors,
yeah,
like, do you have a nutritionist?
yes,
Yeah.
amazing, yes,
What are
yeah.
some of your favorite things to eat?
I I love everything. I eat everything. I like I think my favorite food is spaghetti. I love pancakes. I probably eat eggs every single day. Yeah.
I have to say, I was watching one of your YouTube videos last night, and it impacted what I ate. I was
Really?
really hungry, and I just watched a video where you get a tour of your college of Dartmouth and the dining hall, and you ate the egg, well, the toast with the hole in it,
Yeah.
sunny
Yeah.
side up egg. I ended up making that with my girlfriend last night for dinner. So
Really? It's
thank
so good.
you, thank you for inspiring me.
Of course. It's so good. I never had that until that day, really.
It hit the spot. So. Well, so like when you're traveling, like Japan, what did you eat in Japan? Did you have like team chefs come with you and kind of keep the routine, or did you explore other
Yeah.
foods?
So when we were in Japan, like Mimasaka, like that was before we got to the actual center, like to the actual campus. We had like our hotel was providing us with very delicious food, like delicious, like fresh fruit. It we were obsessed with the bread. It was extremely soft for some reason. It was like it, differently fluffy than in America. So we were obsessed with the bread. I think that was really good. But yeah, they were serving us everything that we needed as far as like protein, um vegetables, like we had the even amount. But it was pretty much the hotel. Our coaches a nutritionist communicated with the hotel like what we should have and what we should eat. So then we just have the options laid out and then we choose what we want. Yeah.
Interesting.
Once we got to the actual campus, it was all different types of food. They had healthy food, they had unhealthy food, but they had food from all over. Like they had like a Japanese cuisine, like they had like an Arab area, they had like sushi, they had American food. It was all types. Like they had Indian food, like it was all types of different food. So it was cool to just go around and try every different thing. But I was obsessed with the ramen. I had ramen and sushi like every day. The ramen was so good and so fresh. Like I've never had ramen that good.
Making me hungry.
Me too.
We got a question in from Jade Flores. Oh, this is a fun question. So, do you get tired when you are running? If you do, what do you do when you get tired?
Oh my God, that's a great question. Yes, I get so tired when I'm running, but I think a part of training is pushing yourself to that point so that you are ready for those times when you're tired. Because the thing about being a great athlete is we all get tired. Some people do have better endurance than others, but we all get tired at some point, and it's about who can push through that tiredness. So it becomes a mental thing for sure. Like you have to pump yourself up in your mind, like, okay, you're tired. Acknowledge that you're tired. Acknowledge that you feel the burn in your heart, and then you have to move on to the next thing. Like, okay, I'm tired, but what do I have to do next? What is my next job? And just trying to focus on what you have to do next physically on the field each time. It gets tiring even doing that. So, but being able to just do that, acknowledge that you're tired, because some people don't. Because if you don't acknowledge that you're tired, you're only going to make yourself angry because you don't know. Like, just acknowledge that you're tired and then
Yeah,
do your next job.
acknowledging. Yeah, that's an interesting tool. I'm gonna have to use that. I'm doing a triathlon on Sunday, so I'm like writing this down.
Yeah, like people think it's like athletes just don't get tired. We're just invincible. Like we get tired. But it's about who can push through and who can really just still be focused under that pressure.
Yeah, one of my trainers used to tell me, observe your pain. Yeah, like you're saying, acknowledge it, observe it,
Hmm.
but don't identify with it.
Hmm.
Like when you say like
Exactly.
I am tired, but it's like the little subtle tweaks in language. Like I see the tiredness, but I am not tired.
Hmm.
That's not who I am. I'm
Exactly.
identifying as tired, as weak. I'm
Hmm.
feeling a little weak, but that's not a permanent state.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Exactly.
it's like priming the subconscious. So I'm curious. I mean, we can talk about mindfulness and mindset all day, and I want to kind of peel this back a little bit. But like, I mean, do you or does a team do like mindfulness training, or like what are the stories you tell yourself about what you want and what you're going after and your goal? Like, I don't know. I'm unpacking a lot of stuff right there, but
Yeah.
feel free to take it any way you want to. But like, how does that training look like?
Yeah, so we do have a sports psychologist. We get on Zoom calls and we have all different types of mental health activities. Like one time they had us say thank you to each other. Like we were all on the screen and we had to just say thank you. Again, practicing gratitude. We just had to say thank you. It was like the whole team on there, but like it was no order. You would just say it whenever you felt like someone was saying it to you. You would just say it back. So practicing that gratitude, that was really cool. But we do just sit and we take deep breaths together. Like before we went to the Olympics, we basically like meditated together. We set our goals. We talked about the things that would come up mentally and how we were going to just battle against them now. Feel like that was super helpful because those things do come up. And just being mindful about how we already had it planned out how we were going to fight against those mental like blocks, like being sucked up in the world of like being at the Olympics, how we were going to like turn our phones off if we felt like it was getting overwhelming, just different things like that. Um, yeah,
Yeah, that's like interesting because that's like you're making a conscious choice of what you want to spend your attention on. And if
mhm,
attention is energy, we only have limited energy per day. So being
exactly.
very careful and being very intentional about where your energy goes, wow, like you can get sucked into all the, I'm not, social media is great, right? Can be great, but
Hmm.
sometimes it can be too much energy depletion. Or if you're in Japan, right, there's too many things, there's so many distractions that can deplete your energy. So
Hmm.
that's such an
Exactly.
interesting thing to share. And I appreciate you bringing that up because that's like a great lesson for these kiddos and
Hmm.
their path and their journey. It's like, what do you want? What are your goals? And is what you're doing every day align with what you want to achieve?
Exactly. I
It's so
agree.
cool. Well, so let's talk about goals. What are some of your, where do you see yourself in? I don't know. Let's pick a range. Next 5 years.
So I want to go to the Olympics one more time in 2024. I love rugby so much. I love how it makes me feel. I love being in California training with my team. So I definitely want to do that. But this summer I am working at JP Morgan. I'm doing an internship there. Like I said, outside of rugby, I'm a finance guru. Like I like business. I like all of those things. So I think after rugby, I go to the Olympics if I make the team. Um, I want to go back into finance and work in New York and be on like Wall Street. And then from there, I do want to be the mayor of Philadelphia. That is my like long term goal. I feel like I could help Philadelphia a lot. That's where I'm from. I didn't like go to high school there all my life, but I lived there, and I feel like I can really make an impact on Philly and make a difference. I can see where the areas that need help, and I want to make an impact there on where I'm from.
Wow. Lots of ambition and lots of great goals ahead of you. Wow, I want to talk about all these. Well, yeah, let's talk about the mayor. Like, why is a mayor important? Why do you want to do that?
Because I know it's the closest thing. It's the closest thing that I can get to really making an impact on Philly. I feel like, because other than that, I could like be a, I don't know, like a police officer. I mean, I guess I could work for the city, but I feel like being the mayor, I could really make an impact, really get in there and talk to people and see like what they need. Obviously, I would do that before I want to become mayor, but I can definitely make an impact at that level. I live in Bridgeport right now, which is like 30 minutes from Philly, and I've talked to the Bridgeport mayor, and he like is inspiring me too because he's telling me like there's some things that we can do as a mayor, there's some things we can't do, but I do feel like the things that I want to achieve, the things that I want to do, I can do that for Philly, and it's not even it's just the little things too. It's not even something that has to be like extremely extravagant because sometimes the mayor just doesn't have that control. But being able to just talk to people on that scale, on that level, and inspire them at that level is like so important to me. So important. Like inspiration can go a long way in Philly if they just have somebody just at the pinnacle of it.
Great. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up here
Okay.
in just a second. Talking about goals. What advice do you have for elementary school students of all kind, that for like how they can get clear on their goals and how to accomplish their goals? What advice do you have?
How to? Hmm. I would say for any goal that you want to achieve, just make sure it's coming from you and that you want to do it, not other people are making you want to do it, that you want to do it, that you find enjoyment in it. And I think whatever it is, whatever goal it is that you want to achieve, just make sure it makes you happy. Make sure it's something that you want to do every day. Make sure you're feeling fulfilled in the purpose that you want to leave in the world. You know, everyone loves purpose, but it's huge. Like make sure that you feel fulfilled in whatever it is, the goal that you want to achieve. Make sure it's coming from within you and not externally.
That's so great. Well, Ariana, it has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank
I know
you.
I'm feeling inspired
Thank
from
you
this
so much.
interview. I know that the kids and teachers are very grateful. How can we follow your journey? I know you mentioned, oh, and we got the banner. I'm seeing the banner on the bottom here. Your
Um,
Instagram page. Is there any other
yep.
pages that you suggest that we can keep track of your progress?
Yeah, you can check me out on YouTube, Ariana Ramsey. My name's right there. Yeah, you can find me on YouTube. Subscribe, please. I need more subscribers. Also TikTok, if you guys like TikTok, I'm Ariana.Ramsey on TikTok.
All right. That's you got a few pillars there of social media dominance. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Got to.
Well, Ariana, again, thank you so much for spending the time with me and us today. And we wish you the
Mm,
best of luck, and sending you some healthy and healing vibes and getting over the hump and the injury. And we can't wait to follow you
thank
at the
you.
2024 Olympics.
Thank you
So
so much.
absolutely. You have a great one.
You too.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye.